Even though we here at Grandpa's Kitchen are moving to a more heart-healthy and diabetic-friendly diet, please understand that we are not experts in the health industry. So before taking any of our recipes or product recommendations to heart, make sure that it doesn't rail against your diet that has already been established. And if you're uncertain, please see your healthcare provider. Any type of changes in your diet could cause health complications and or death. So cook smart and eat smart. Welcome to Grandpa's Kitchen, starring Grandpa, Cousin Cletus, Cousin Elmo, and your host, J. Bob. And hi, and welcome to Grandpa's Kitchen. I'm your country cousin and host, J. Bob. That's spelled J period B-O-B. I can spell it backwards. B-O-B. Yeah! Well, welcome to another thrilling episode here on the old homestead. Today we're going to wrap up part 3 of food you can eat while watching the game. But we're going to do something new today and have our own NFL top 3. Top 3 worst NFL analysts. But before we get into all the fun and excitement, here's a word from our sponsor. Hey, sports fans, are you looking for something to do while watching the game? Well, have no fear, Perry's Ice Cream is here. Yes, introducing their new chicken wing ice cream with blue cheese swirls. Yes, Perry's Ice Cream chicken wing ice cream comes in a multitude of flavors, everything from pub style all the way to their insanity sauce. So the next time you're at your grocery store, make sure to pick up some Perry's Ice Cream chicken wing ice cream. Brought to you by the good folks at Gagamall Industry. Warning, excessive eating of this product can cause uncontrollable bouts of anal leakage. Eat responsibly.
P.U.
Man, that stink.
Let me guess, that product was recommended by 4 out of 5 proctologists. Ugh. Well, anyhow, let's get on and get started with this episode. I'll tell you what. Now, we're right around the corner to the NFL Super Bowl. I hope you're ready to watch a good game. I'm hoping it's a good game, Yes, sir. Well, anyhow, like every season, we always start off with the birth of that season, and then unfortunately, we have the afterbirth. NFL analyst. This is where it gets me mad with my school counselor back in the day when they could have just simply told me the 2 jobs you can do wrong and still have a job the next day. Meteorologist, NFL analyst. You know, it wouldn't shock me one time. Not one time. One of them would ask this very question.
Will you teach me to football?
Shoot, Elmo could do a better job than them guys, I'll tell you what. Of course, this is Elmo we're talking about. He still can't figure out why they don't have a 7th inning stretch in football. Elmo. Well, just like they have their top 10 and their tiers and all this, I thought they deserved their own top 3. So, with no further ado, we're going to start the top 3 worst NFL analysts. Number 3. And at number 3 is Skip Bayless from Undisputed. That's right. Seeing here, picturing, trying to figure out what's wrong with himself.
Sort of a severe geritol deficiency. You ever get like that?
Skip is always every year, and especially this year, he's really went over the top with it. He is a big Dallas Cowboy fan. Unfortunately, every year, last 3-4 years, they get into the playoffs and boom, they're out. It's a sad thing. Now, I'm not putting down the Cowboys. There's like a lot of teams. They just don't have that 1 or 2 small things they need to iron out to get the job done. Nothing to be shameful of, but it just, hey, it is what it is. Shoot, it's gotten so bad at Cowboys games, Jerry Jones even got the cheerleaders going double time to try to keep the crowd to turning into a mob. Phew, it's been pretty bad. Yeah. The bad part about Skip is he thinks he can make his team win by just wishing it, and pushing the issue on every dang blasted episode of Undisputed. He's ran off Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp. Shoot, one of his co-hosts one of these days is going to probably take a sucker punch at him. It's just plumb crazy. I mean, he is so desperate for the Cowboys to win, he won't stop. Shoot, you could be talking about the Packers versus the Bears, and he'll wiggle the Cowboys right in there. I'll tell you what. And then every time we get into the playoffs, eventually this is going to happen. If you've seen those clips before, you know he throws it right into a clean trash bag. Well, of course, he's got to dig it out for next year, so he's got props to throw away again. I'll tell you what. Well, enough of those, Skip. Let's move on with the countdown.
Number 2.
And at number 2, Colin Cowherd. Seen here pictured contemplating his next in-depth analysis.
Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude?
Now, Colin is one of those type, he always tries to tell you, like, well, let me pick on my team. We, in the middle of the season, was on a 6-game winning streak. And he wanted to jump on the bandwagon to make fun of my quarterback, old Brock Purdy. Everybody was hating on him, still are hating on him. But it got to the point he was so desperate to say something negative. This was the best he could come up with.
I'm a big believer. I like my quarterbacks to be adults. I don't want them to be frat boys. So Jalen Hurts at the podium is the best podium quarterback in the league. Hat on forward, professional, almost manicured, got that CEO-like, a real grown-up. Brock Purdy. Hey, you guys want to hit some golf balls?
Seriously? Good night. Well, I mean, come on, Colin. Are you going to stop calling your program The Herd and then start calling it Colin Cowherd?
Fashion Police.
I mean, if you're going to be the fashion police, you know, at the time that this was going on, that he was doing this, there were others were jumping in on that hot take of all that stuff. Well, yeah. Former quarterback Cam Newton jumped in. And I'm trying to figure out, Colin, seeing you are the fashion police, how did you miss Cam in this picture? Shoot, he was looking like a circa 1970s German pimp. Woo! Wow! How did that slip past your radar there, Colin? Good night. I'll tell you what, and I mean, you know you don't really take a guy seriously at the beginning of his career in the NFL when he's doing this at a press conference.
You dipstick.
Talk about pick a winner. Well, I'll tell you what, we're done with number 2. There's not really much more to say there. So let's roll on up to the top dog.
And number 1.
And number 1, the only man that spells his last name W-R-O-N-G, because he's that way the whole time. That's our good buddy Nick Wright, seen here taking a deuce in his drawers. I'll tell you what, that dude about kills me. I'll tell you what, his man is so bad at analyzing it's not funny. And the thing is, he gets criticized. Even people went to being as cruel as to make fun of his hair and his clothes. He got on one of his shows and cried about it. Well, dude, what you expect? You look like, you talk like, you dress like a used car salesman, so's your analysis. Woo! You couldn't analyze out a wet paper bag with a hole in it. If you don't believe me, here's a sample. At the beginning of the season, this bold prediction, he was so confident, he even rolled down a banner. Take a look at this.
It's not bad.
Drop the banner.
We
Never a doubt. 20 and 0. Drop the banner. What the heck? Brew.
It's a strong take,
Drop
bro.
the brew. Did you see a loss?
Undefeated, huh? Funny part was, a week later, this happened.
Who actually called the game?
He called it. He was right.
He doesn't even have a chair.
You dipstick.
That's right. Kansas City lost their first game 20-21 to the Detroit Lions. Way to go, Nick. Wrong as usual. Well, there you go. Numero uno, Nick Wright, worst NFL analyst in the league. Woo, that got me so excited I got my tongue knotted up. Well, anywho, let's get on to what we're really about, and that's cooking. Well, this is going to be our final part, as I said before. We're going to wrap it up with something simple, easy. I don't have a recipe reference in the description. It's just basically hamburger, really. But we're going with it at a different angle. So I hope you're hungry. I hope you're ready. And let's just do one thing. Let's get back in the kitchen and let's get cooking. Well, all right, let's get started. As always, have something to drink. Now, these are those Skittle mixes I showed in episode 15. I'll tell you what, this is my third one this afternoon. Good night. I told you I was addicted. Now, we're going to make these sliders, well, we got to figure out what we're going to use for a bun. Because when it comes right down to it, you're not going to find keto-friendly slider buns. So what we're going to do, we're going to use this Lewis keto hot dog buns, and we're just going to make our own. So what I'm going to do, okay, I have a bread knife. Make sure you got a bread knife. And this is just a cookie cutter or biscuit cutter, whatever you want to call it. This will give me the idea of about, I could probably cut this in half and cut the ends off and then split it, and there's your buns. So we'll just cut the end off like right here. I'm going to save these. We're going to use that for another recipe. That's right. Just cut it right off. Put that to the side. And let's see. Yeah, it looks like I can cut it right down the middle. Then they split open. I'm not going to finish it off. Just like this. Once I get done cutting up however many sliders I'm going to make, I'm going to put these in and toast them. And there you go. You got yourself your own little slider bun. Now, you can use these with regular hot dog buns if, say, you don't have, like, diabetes or heart problems. You know, you can eat that stuff. This is perfectly fine. But when I put my cookie there, that's going to be about the size of the burger. So there'll be overlap of burger, which I love. So let me get some more cut up, get them in the toaster oven, and we're going to move right on to the next step, just like this. Well, now let's go on to the next step. Now, these are a double buffalo slider. Now, why do I call them that? That's real simple. We're going to be making this with ground bison. That's right, buffalo. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this out of the package, and we're going to weigh it up on the scale and get 2 ounces per slider and put them off to a plate, and then we'll go on to the next step. All right? We'll be right back. Let me get them all weighed up and ready to go, and we'll be back like this. Okay, now, we got them all up in 2 ounces. It's a 1 pound package, that's 16 ounces. So you get 8 sliders per pound of meat. Here's the buffalo meat. And if you wonder what buffalo tastes like, it tastes just like beef. But it's healthier, it's leaner meats. In fact, it's approved by the American Heart Association, American Diabetes Association, USDA, WebMD, and etc. But you still got to kind of treat it like red meat. All right, now, this is the part where now we actually make the sliders. And I'm going to press this out a bit. I'm going to do this with all of them. And why it's called double buffalo is we're going to use the same seasoning that we did our hot wings in. Slap your mama. Now, they got it in a powder if you want to try it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprinkle that on this patty. And there we go. Here, that's what I want to see. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. I'm going to fold it over best I can. Try to reshape it a bit. Here's where the cookie cutter comes in. I'm going to put that meat right in that cookie cutter best you can. And then I'm going to form my little patty in the cookie cutter. That way it has some nice round edges. Oh, yeah. And there's one slider. I'm going to take that, put it off to on another plate, and move on to my next one. Now, if you are not big on the hot stuff, you can do like we're doing here. My wife wants me to try it. This is Hidden Valley. The powder that you get to make if you want to make your own homemade dressing right here, you can sprinkle that in. Or if you want to just try something that doesn't have as much sodium, like the salt your mama, or slap your mama, salt your mama. Oh. Or if you don't want all the salt that you might get out of the Hidden Valley, you can mix it up with other spices, such as garlic powder, onion powder. If you want to kick like getting this, then throw in cayenne pepper, mix it up real good, then sprinkle it just like what we did. I'm going to get these done, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get them all on the plate, ready to go, and then I'm going to put them in my George Foreman and cook them till they're done while I toast the buns. So we'll see you back here in just a little while. All right, well, now, while we're waiting for this to get fried up here in the Foreman and everything else, let's just go ahead and take my sugar reading for a little bit of verification. I'm at a 114, so for me ain't too bad. All right, well, we'll be right back here in a second with the finished products, all right? Just like this. Well, all right, there they are. All nice and done, ready to eat. What we're going to do is eat our portion, and then we're going to take our final sugar reading, and we'll let you know how it turned out, just like that. All right, it's been a couple hours, and there you go, real good readings. And I even had sun chips with this. So let's just say this meal was... Yum, yum! Well, all right. Now, I wouldn't recommend eating no more than 3 of them in one setting, all right? Because even though it's bison or buffalo, if you are to go, it's lower in fat and stuff, you still want to treat it like a red meat, even though it's a better red meat, okay? Just be careful. It'd be 6 ounces. That should be right about where they want you to hit in the first place, all right? Now, some other seasoning that I did find, hopefully this comes in, like this Grippo seasoning here. You make it taste like those barbecue chips if it's in your area. It's another idea. But again, like a lot of them, just be careful. This does have salt in it, all right? And while I'm done this, while we're not in the kitchen like we normally are, is because, well, yeah, we got the Super Bowl coming in. I am a 49er fan, but I did want to show off my collection a bit of my 1981 set or the 81 roster of the San Francisco 49ers. I got Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott right there, Dwight Clark, all the big ones in this big display case. And then even over here, I got season tickets from 1981 to 49ers, plus even the optional divisional and NFC championship tickets with the Super Bowl ticket stub, my digital printout of the Sports Illustrated autographed Dwight Clark catching the catch. and then an actual authentic from that day and time pennant. And yes, I'm going to do something I'm going to say what my pick is. I'm going to always pick with my team. I'm going to pick the 49ers. Now, with that being said, who do I really think is going to win? I'm not really holding my breath for a 49er win. I kind of see it going to Kansas City. Unfortunately, we got a lot of defense problems. I don't know if they might get it solved and we win, but you never know. All right, so this wraps it up for food you can have while watching the game. Just make sure that you watch whatever your doctor has prescribed or dietitian and try not to escape too far from our recommendations, all right? So the next time you see us, we're going to start taking on probably some of our old recipes and see if we can't make them healthier, all right? So until then, we give you a big ol' salute!
Brought to you by Low IQ Production.